Football is America's favorite game. Yet its players pay a hefty price with their bodies and their brains.
You need to mitigate your risk. Every blow you receive could cause damage.
Dr. Bennett Omalu began sounding that alarm to the NFL more than 10 years ago.
We thought without a helmet, we thought without concussions, repeated blows off your head has a risk of causing permanent brain damage.
Hall of Famer Frank Gifford, who died in August, is the latest player whose autopsy revealed he suffered from severe brain damage. The NFL is at work to improve the safety, but for a time, Dr. Omalu was on a collision course with professional football. The story is now a major motion picture starring Will Smith.
What do they want?
The NFL wants you to say you made it all up.
I made it up.
They're accusing you of fraud.
If you retract, you'll be fine. This all goes away.
Why are they doing this?
They're terrified of you.
If you could briefly say, who is Dr. Omalu?
Oh, Dr. Omalu is a really interesting, paradoxical creature, you know.
Bennett Omalu was born into a poor family in the jungles of Nigeria. He immigrated to America, earned 8 degrees, and became a forensic pathologist in Pittsburgh.
He's a man of science, firmly, but he is also one of the most spiritually religiously based people I've ever met in my life. Everything in his life is about God, yet he's a scientist. It was beautiful to spend time with him and watch how he blended those two concepts in his life.
Dr. Omalu discovered the brain disease he named chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. It's often found in athletes who play contact sports and can lead to memory loss, depression, and even death. Omalu's discovery began with his autopsy of Iron Mike Webster, a Pittsburgh Steelers legend who died at just 50. David Morse plays Mike in the film. How familiar were you with Mike Webster's story before coming to this film?
I had only heard, I think probably like many people, about a famous football player who had played for a long time in the NFL, who was living in his truck, who had sold his Super Bowl rings, and who died homeless and penniless.
It is such a tragic story. What about it appealed to you?
Well, Dr. Omalu really is what, you know, is what appealed to me, because he is the story in a lot of ways.
You want to fold up the National Football League?
Want to solve the problem.
Who are you?
What do you ask?
You're a pathologist. You perform autopsies.
Yes, I'm a mere pathologist. That's it. That's all I am. Part of the beauty of Bennett's story is that it does have mythological and biblical proportions to it. It's David and Goliath, but it played out in real life.
You know what history does to people. Trained physicians who ignore science.
Oh, wow.
Sir, I am not done. History laughs. If you continue to deny my work, the world will deny my work. But men, your men, continue to die. Their families left in ruins. Tell the truth.
You were a football dad, if I remember. Your oldest son played football. And there's a line in the film that says the NFL owns the day of the week that the church used to own, right? So were there any reservations taken on the NFL?
It was less about taking on the NFL. I didn't see this film as taking on the NFL. I saw how someone could see it that way. But to me, it was much more about delivering the truth. It was much more about telling Dr. Omalu's story.
Heaven was here, and America was here.
Gugu Mbatha-Raw plays the role of Prima, Dr. Omalu's wife. This is not just a film about football and concussions. There's actually a love story in this film as well. And you bring that role to life. Tell me about that connection between Dr. Omalu and Prima.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful, somewhat sort of old-fashioned love story, and somewhat unconventional in many ways. Well, they meet in the church and, you know, are both drawn together through their faith, but also through the fact that they are both foreigners in America. And so it's really that sort of bond of these sort of two outsiders sort of aspiring for the American dream.
And Dr. Omalu made it official just this year by becoming an American citizen.
You walk out of that movie, you'll be very proud and glad that you are an American. A place you're allowed to experiment. I experimented with my faith and science, and look how what turned out.
In his native tongue, Dr. Omalu's name means he who knows must step forward and speak. His courage to do it inspired the man who plays his part in the film.
After spending time with Dr. Omalu, and you know, I spent time again with Chris Gardner for The Pursuit of Happiness, and Muhammad Ali and Nelson Mandela working on Ali. As an actor, I've been blessed to play characters who are deeply centered on service and contribution. And when I play characters like this, it feels good to wear that. So that good feeling is a signal to me that there's a deeper calling for me. And in the will blueprint that heaven created, I think that there's more than just being an actor. You know, I think there's a higher contribution that I can and I will make.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News, New York.